I'm going to call the meeting to order, 7:01, Fire District 2 Prudential Committee, Monday, March 13th, 2023. So we're going to go start off with the vendor warrant and the payroll warrant, number 1 and 2. So if you'll be patient, we will.
I never got to see him, so.
No.
For what we're discussing tonight, from last, I don't have an extra copy.
No, I just have a extra.
Chief,
Yes.
Bulldog's Performance, 481, is that the alternator?
It's the issue we had with the generator for the truck. Turned out to be a fuse,
Okay,
and that's the bill from that one.
a fuse.
Correct.
They had to diag that, or
What's that?
did they have to diagnose it or something?
Yeah, it was, most of it, you'll see on the,
Well, I'm not looking at the.
no, I know, but, it's, most of it is actually labor cost.
Well, is it a fusible link? Do you know what kind of fuse they're looking at, or?
It was a fusible link, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, it's fairly easy to I just see $481, I go, well,
Yeah.
yeah, it seems a little stiff.
We did have another issue they looked at with the headlights kind of dimming in and out, but they tested all that and it was fine, so.
So they didn't find a bad ground for the headlights or anything like that?
It seems to be fine now, so it might have been just part of the generator issue too, maybe.
Okay. The Eversource, I guess this is the Cheryl, excuse me, the Eversource I see here, 1369, is that 1 month's electric?
1 month. It's in the packet.
Yeah, I'm just, that's 1 month.
1 month.
That seems high for our electric in general. You got electric heater in the bathroom, though, Wayne, or? I don't know, it just seems higher than usual, I just,
Nothing's changed.
yeah. Well, I know everything's gone up, too. Are we on the, you and I talked about that.
Yes, and I did look,
Are we on that Mass Conserve, I forget the name of it, Constellation Energy or something like that, that has a rate of just under 11 cents a
you're
kilowatt
not
plus
under the-
delivery?
You're not under the town.
Yeah, under the town, well, it's-
But there's a website that you can go to, and I don't have access for the fire district.
so our supplier is Eversource?
I believe so, if you're
Yeah.
on the,
Well, if it is, we're paying top buck, that's all, so
Yeah.
we have to change that.
I don't know who
Well,
that
we'll
has
talk.
access to that.
We'll talk on
Okay.
that.
Payroll.
Chief, the fire tech, we got a grant for that, we have to pay it first, or we don't get the money?
Yep. all that fire tech stuff, that's the brush geared board on the grant. Being paid now, and we'll get the check.
All right, so we front and they pay right
Correct,
back.
that's how it works,
All
yeah.
right.
We'll have a check for, 15,000, I believe, roughly around that coming back.
15.5.
15.5.
So it cost us 12. If I see 12 here, balance due $12,025.
It's a little more than
Unless there's
that.
another slip in here.
It's
I'm missing.
$19,000.
It's 19,000 total, is what we spent on it, and we'll get 15 back.
19,411.60 is the total.
How much?
Right, 19,411.60.
Yeah. If you look on the, check amount, the second row, there's two, bills for the, brush gear.
We're getting back 15.5.
Oh, I see another one here for 7,000.
Correct.
So the total came to what?
$19,401.
And we got subsidized 15.
15.5.
Yep,
So it cost the district 4 and change.
correct.
What did Apollo calibrate?
It's one of our, gas meters.
On the truck?
Yep.
Natural gas kind of meter or?
Yeah, it detects carbon monoxide, stuff like that.
Okay, that's done yearly.
They're actually supposed to be done every 6 months.
Okay.
They haven't been done in, I don't know how long, so we're gonna need to start a program for that. But that one there had to go out to be calibrated because it wasn't working at all. It failed.
So you got it back?
Yeah.
And what's the new one cost, just for sake of?
Around 500, 600 is what the ones we have.
This is $190, I don't know how old it is, but.
It's a fairly new meter, but, the calibration took care of the issue that we had, so. Yeah. Yeah, it's less than a year old, so. But according to the manufacturer, they should be calibrated every 6 months.
It's kind of short term though, huh? To be 6, seems
It is.
to me.
They do sell a kit that you can buy and you can calibrate them yourself. I'll be looking into
Yeah.
that
What-
there. That'll, in the long run, save us a
How
good
many
amount of
meters?
money.
How many meters you got?
We have 2 of those meters, and then we have some older meters, which will probably end up needing to be replaced because they're older model anyway.
Might be worth the investment.
Correct. And this way we'll have all the meters similar so that we can calibrate them ourselves. We do have one of the older meters out for calibration now. Actually, no, that's out, needs a sensor replacement. We're waiting for that to come back. We got an additional older one, the same model, that's having the same issue. So that one there, I'm probably gonna end up replacing.
These are monoxide sensors as well?
Carbon
If you go
monoxide,
into a
natural
house and
gas.
and you might have an air furnace that has the heat exchangers rotted out, you can check for high levels of monoxide, if they don't have a meter in the house already.
Even if they have the meter, we check them because it'll actually give us a
More
parts
like
per million in the house, so we can know
Yep.
where the danger level is.
How bad it is. These are your handhelds, the batteries, and nickel,
Yes, for the portable radios.
were they just not holding charge?
Correct.
Those are pretty old units, they've been in service for a while.
Yeah, these were batteries for the older units.
So they're back up and running good?
Correct. Yep.
I guess the new ones are lithiums. These only have about a 5-year life, realistically, you know,
Realistically.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The nickel batteries on the handhelds.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
about 5 years,
years,
probably
yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
Ralph, can you give me the first half of that packet that you hold in there?
The first half,
Yeah.
this part you haven't seen.
To miss.
Wait a second. Oh, I'll give you the battery too, I guess, let's see. Toco. There you go, sir.
Are these additional vendors that was in the other packet?
And
That weren't
the
in this,
packet I
that
gave
came
you
in late?
tonight's not in there, that's a quote.
That's just the quote.
We'll go over that when we get to building maintenance.
This company, Barby, Fall River, they
Yeah.
did the gen test, where they do a load test and all that on it?
It's
Check it out.
annual service test, yeah.
How long is he there for? Do you or Wayne see them?
Not sure when that
He
one.
doesn't check in, I'm not sure. Comes and services it and he takes off.
Does he change the oil or anything like that on it? I mean, the engine is the Kohler, I know that, but it's a, you know,
I don't know if that's done on every service. I don't
It's just-
know why, so I'm not sure.
it's just an invoice, we don't know what he
Yeah,
did.
it's contracted for what they come into the service for.
I mean, it's $508, I'd like to know what he did for $508.
I can call and find out.
Yeah, just say, hey, you owe me $500, what'd you do?
Yep.
I mean, if you change the oil, put a load test on it, make sure it's, you know, that day that it happens when you need it. Murphy's Law being what it is.
Uh-huh.
How's Bulldog's work been? Good?
Works
Better,
good.
better than Greenfield? Wayne would know this, unless you've worked at Greenfield, but,
They're closer.
well, duh, yeah, it's a lot close, yeah. But I mean, as far as the quality of work, the billing probably a little less, but,
Yeah, I mean, they're all about the same price.
yeah. Well, I thought Greenfield was a little more aggressive, but,
Greenwood you have to use for certain items. They're your dealer.
yeah.
Except for the engine wise was going up to, Scales, right? And they're sold out now. I got a notice that somebody else bought the Scales out.
What's salt?
So the Cummins engine in that, the only warranty place that can do warranty work on the engine was right up near, the old Paw Sox baseball field. They just
Oh,
got,
McCoy Statements, make on, Industrial Drive, I know what that is, yeah.
yeah, they got bought out by somebody else.
Yeah.
She called and left a bunch of information for us, but we haven't really used them for anything other than warranty stuff.
They were doing the ladder truck, right? Weren't they doing the ladder truck for maintenance?
No, that was Bulldog.
Now, but in the past, I thought they had,
Maybe before I started, but since I've been there, everything went to Greenwood.
Greenwood for the, all right,
Greenwood was the ladder truck, engine
Right,
six,
that's on-
engine
that's
five,
what I
they were
asked.
doing all, well, we're
Right.
talking off the scales, that's why.
yeah. Oh,
Greenwood was doing all of it,
right,
then now it's Bulldog.
they've got the deal, they did, okay, because they're close
They
to,
actually fixed the running issue with the ladder truck. They figured out what was going on with it and got it to run properly.
Cheryl, your electrical supplier is Eversource, so we're gonna have to change that for sure. I think we can get a much better deal. I think under Constellation, I think it is, maybe somebody out there has it.
It's Constellation.
It is Constellation, yeah, well, you would know, yeah, you're in
Yeah,
the,
it's a Dartmouth aggregate.
yes,
Yeah, you should have known that a long time
yeah,
ago.
yeah. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
11
there's
cents a
quite
kilo.
savings there.
Yeah, big savings. You can go online, you could have the bill and all that, maybe, well, one of you guys,
Try it.
well, yeah, these guys could do it too while they're, One of them go online, you gotta log in, create an account. It'll drop the bill significantly.
You want this?
Essentials Firefighting, 7th edition.
That's the textbooks that the recruits need for the academy coming up.
Okay. So that's what they used to study.
Correct.
I just haven't seen that. Yeah. Only one set of helmet and goggles and just one unit, see shot unit, it just seems strange to have one. Colored wildfire,
the,
helmet style, color white, that's yours?
Oh, wait, yeah.
That's the, okay, that's yours, okay.
Yeah, that supply in is just out of sight. 0.26.
That's what we were just talking about.
No, I know, I heard it, but I mean, I just switched and, I mean, 2.6, it's like, they can get it from 0.
Well, the rates be about 12 cents, just under 12 cents a kilowatt, last time I looked.
Right.
It
Is
is.
it? Yeah.
I just applied.
Okay, it's like 11.989 or,
Crazy
so-
that
yeah.
it's that.
26.
But their rate's like, I don't know, 23, 24 cents or something like that.
I pay like 27 cents, yeah.
27,
Right
well,
now, yeah.
maybe it didn't, yeah.
$55 to
Did you check with Slocum Studios on posting emails?
deliver that bill. The papers tonight.
That again?
Emails on our website? What emails we have?
Emails for,
Our emails, excuse me, minutes.
But you did.
Still a little groggy, I got out of surgery. So,
I haven't got them to post up there yet.
yeah, well, whatever minutes we've got.
Yeah, the ones I've got, the last 2 months I'll put up there.
Not all of it, but it's at the end.
She coming tonight?
No,
No.
I call why.
I don't know why she was, but
I didn't know that. I said, I thought.
Whitmer, that's a new company we're doing business, right? Whitmer Public Safety? Is this gloves and stuff you got, or? Defender visor, deluxe red includes deluxe leather liner. These gloves, Kevlar, ear laps.
No, that's a helmet.
That's a helmet?
Yeah.
$438 helmet?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, expensive helmet.
Yeah.
That's just one.
Mhm.
I'm in the wrong business. This is the rest.
Clip. Unless you're all be mad at me.
This is okay. How's your details working out for the weekend?
Good.
You have another man on, or no?
No, not yet.
Osterman, the propane, can we look into another company?
You guys wanna look
Well,
at it, go, that's
it's-
part of the building maintenance, that's,
I understand, but they're just one of the highest propane companies out there.
mhm.
Phil's and, I don't know.
That's up to you guys, that's part of the building maintenance if you wanna change it. Building maintenance falls under the Prudential Committee.
Well, we could have, maybe Wayne can make some calls. You get a minute, a break there, you can just call some, just to see if we're getting a fair deal.
We can do that, not a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, just to see what a rate, you might wanna get, I looked at that bill, there's no amount of gallons they put in, maybe the yellow slip, whoever got the slip of delivery would show the amount of gallons delivered. So if they ask you what our consumption is, you're gonna have to say, listen, I'm doing 4,000 gallons a year of propane.
Yep.
Because they use it based on demand, how much you
Based on
use.
demand, correct.
The less you use, the higher you pay.
Mhm.
So that's $950 for the month
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Mhm.
for the propane,
Correct.
yeah.
I mean, it's a big building, you got 2 garages, doors opening and closing, showers, hot water comes out of that. Broken water pipe leaking, is that when it's cold? February 4th, somebody, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah. That's up near Hawthorne. That Summit over there, the condos, 8th Green Drive, that's up.
That's right off Fairway Drive, right?
It's up studios, the host.
Seven oh four Hosnick Road, smoking area, somebody have a fire going, or a fireplace smoking out or something, or
Yeah, it was an outside burning,
outside? Legal, or just,
illegal.
oh, I see another one here, smoke, illegal burn, Bonnie's Joy Road,
Mhm.
they don't call in, get a permit?
Correct. Either that or it's after hours.
Oh. Wade's Farm Lane, Backfire Hill, that's a fairly new development over there, isn't it?
Oh, that's where Greg
Wade's
lives.
Farm Lane?
That's where Greg lives. It's not.
Oh, that's a-
development.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess they don't maintain their old furnace, maybe, huh?
He just had it maintained.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
It was in,
Just
yeah,
had
was
it
an
done,
issue.
like 4 days before that.
Really? Then I would definitely get on the people he had.
He did, and the guy on the phone with me said he knew already what it was. He was having an issue with it.
Yeah, it's
Long story.
Either you maintain it or you don't. And the oil people, you know, you come in, a lot of them are hackers, so long as they,
This one was a,
And that was one of them.
blew the doors right off the unit.
construction material burning, illegal.
That was another illegal burn.
I know.
What wasn't he
You
burning?
name
And
it,
we're
trash.
paying a late fee too on that.
Yeah. All construction material,
Construction
he had
material.
two by fours, tree pieces, flooring, he had everything in a pile. The fire was probably
Is
12
that
feet
an
high.
old house or, what, did it create so much smoke you guys got called?
Mhm.
It wasn't just the smoke, it was the fire was
You-
12, 15 feet tall, midnight. The neighbor- The
So
neighbor
this guy's
saw
a
it.
moron, then it was doing that.
From the
Bunch of
street, it
kids.
looked like it was the woods that were actually burning,
Yeah.
so.
So somebody called it in,
Correct.
Yeah, the neighbor called it in.
so that, I mean,
I thought we had a working fire back there. When I got down on the
so
road,
would
I
you
could see
guys
it from the street.
talk to him and read him the Koran or what?
We did after we,
Long story, threatened to get my face punched in and get off the property. It was-
Really?
Yeah.
That's an illegal burn though, and
Had to call the
burning,
PD down there to let us in
we
the yard.
had the PD down there
no
with
kid,
us.
he wouldn't let you in.
Wouldn't even let me have the cruiser.
Is this guy a new guy? He wouldn't what?
Young kids. Got right to the door of the cruiser, wouldn't let me out, back to F off my property. Oh, it was a story for another day.
Well, they should get some kind
I
of
thought we were
fine, I
fist
would
fighting.
think that'd be, you know, he'd be getting a fine or something like that, doing something like that. At midnight, or, you know,
Told the police where to go and how to get there.
what happened when the police got there?
They
So the
allowed us
fire
back
burned
there
out.
at that point.
They had to allow us in the back part of the yard. And that's, because they kept telling us, oh, it's in a pit, it's in a little barrel, we'll get a barrel burning.
A
We
barrel
got-
15 feet
We
high.
got back there, the pile was probably the size of this room, and they were burning on top of the pile. Like just stuff, just junk stacked up.
Yeah, linoleum, asbestos, you name it, yeah, probably treated wood and all that other stuff, yeah.
Wouldn't let us
I'm
use the
surprised they
hose.
didn't get some kind of citation on that. I think you got the right to do that.
If it
In the
extends to
fine.
a certain amount,
If
yes.
it's, you have we have a fine schedule that lists.
That's for, in the bylaws, we have it for, false alarms.
Nuisance.
But I thought there was
If
also
we keep going back. keep
illegal
going back.
burning, repeat alarms, I understand that.
Yeah, repeat.
For an illegal burning, it would have to fall back to the state.
Vehicle crash in woods, they okay? White Oak Run,
They were, yep.
inebriated or just not paying attention?
No, apparently not paying attention.
Occupant trapped in vehicle, okay? You come out of that all right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I think I was there and they went out, you guys went out or something.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Home filled with smoke. I guess a pellet stove malfunction.
Because of the, it's not, I wonder if he should sign these, just the two.
I got two of them too.
I'll ask him what he thinks. I know Anthony mentioned it.
Okay. Bobby, the only problem I see on Savastino's bill is not a breakdown.
I know.
Well, we gotta have that. We haven't had one for a while. I can't sign it without it. I'll be
Okay.
honest with you. I can't sign off on it without
So
seeing a
you're
breakdown.
not gonna sign up?
No, I won't,
All right.
I won't, because
That one
it's
part,
public
oh.
money, and I don't know, you know, without a breakdown, it's, just not right to pay bills of that size without seeing a breakdown from anybody. That's why I asked about the other bill with a breakdown. That's only $500, so this is much higher. But I think it's only fair, 'cause it's public money. They should know where it's going, or how it's going. That includes that bill, right?
That's just payroll.
That's the payroll.
Just payroll.
So we'll
Make a motion
make a motion.
to accept the payroll and vendor warrant.
I second,
I'm a payroll warrant, no problem.
Aye.
Aye.
and, so the vendor warrant,
Same thing, vendor and
I know,
payroll.
but he said he's.
No, I can't sign off without seeing a breakdown. This is going on for too many months now.
Okay.
So we can,
So either hold off Anthony's paying his bill, pay the rest, they're okay. You gotta make a call on one.
we can make a motion to accept the vendor warrant, he can abstain.
Yep.
So if
Second.
you gentlemen wanna sign off on it.
Okay. Make a
I
motion.
don't know if it has to be
Make a motion
unanimous
to
though.
accept the vendor warrant.
Also, that slope, is it Slocum what? The Slocum bill?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in there
Can't
too.
sign off on that either.
no, that's in there. The Slocum Studio, I can't sign off on it, cause that's my brother.
Okay,
2-1.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And abstain. All right, number 3, vehicle use. Wondering what's going on. There's 2 vehicles out there tonight.
Mhm.
What, I know we were asked to use it for a couple of weeks.
It's being used only for department purposes, while he's waiting for a vehicle.
And
What you looking for?
2 weeks have turned into 8.
Correct, but it's being used for departmental issues.
No, it's
It's not being used as a private vehicle.
to and from work.
To and from work, to calls, there's medical equipment in it, there's an extinguisher in there. It's being used for department stuff only.
You're talking a deputy chief's vehicle, the
Correct.
old vehicle, the old
Correct.
chief's vehicle.
Mhm.
Well, technically, you're on call 24/7. If the chief can't make it for some reason, you would go to the call with the vehicle.
I go to all the calls.
Correct.
Understandable.
Well, anyway, is it the deputy chief is gonna have his own vehicle now? Is that what we're saying?
I'm not saying that, no.
Okay, well, we need to come up with an end date here.
When he has a vehicle.
Okay, well, so he has to get a vehicle.
What do you mean when he has a vehicle?
He does not have his own vehicle right now. He's in the process of buying one. It got delayed, and that's what he's using for, department only.
Yeah, so if you get a call and you go out,
That's,
whatever time, you
that's
take.
what's being used,
yeah,
that's what, exactly.
Okay. I mean, you're not taking to the movies or anything like that? You're
Absolutely
doing-
not.
All right, okay.
But once we have, what he's still gonna be doing, he'll be using his own vehicle once he,
That's
He
what
gets
I'm
it.
saying, yes.
Well, you would drive to the station, probably take the company vehicle at that point, I guess, if you had to go to an incident,
Well,
unless you had to go to the incident direct.
No, at that point, he can respond direct with his own vehicle, yes.
depends on where the call is, I'm not gonna,
Right.
so
not gonna
what's the,
bypass a call to go to the
No,
station.
absolutely not.
what's the issue, Wayne? With getting a
Waiting
new
to see what you're
vehicle?
doing with my pay is one,
Okay,
and the second one is I'm dealing with stuff from my parents right now. I have a vehicle that was my dad's, that I'm trying to register, but it's still going through probate. The first part of probate just went through. The house got auctioned, and now I have to wait for the finishing part of the probate. It was supposed to take 8 months. Well, we're well into going over a year and 2 months. So that's what the issue is.
I see. You remember saying it was only gonna be a few weeks?
I understand.
Okay,
Again, this
But
is
I
being
went
used
to
only
the-
for
I went to the
departmental
chief, which
issues.
is actually the chief's decision to let me know if I can use it or not.
well, we talked about, because we could put that up as surplus equipment and have sold it off. but
If
we
he
thought
wants
it was
to.
a good reason.
That all
That
comes
would
to the
be,
chief.
that would be up to me, and it's not surplus vehicle, it's a department vehicle.
All right.
Was the vehicle you got to replace the old one?
It was.
I couldn't tell you, I
Well, we
was
need to
not
know
here at
that.
the time when that was bought, but in my evaluation, I don't think we need to get rid of the vehicle,
It was bought to replace the old one, then it's surplus equipment.
No, that vehicle was, we would discuss to keep that vehicle as a spare vehicle when we bought the new vehicle.
That's what we're asking. That's all we wanted was an answer.
We didn't say it was a surplus vehicle.
That's what we're asking.
And that's what I'm saying, it's not a surplus vehicle.
Okay, equipment maintenance.
All right, so equipment maintenance, kind of discussed a little bit with the vendor stuff. Ladder truck went out for a generator issue, which has been fixed. Engine 6 had a sensor issue for the side step, that's been fixed. The meters, like I discussed with the bill stuff, one meter went out, calibration has been returned. We have one out getting a sensor. When that one gets back, I'm gonna make a decision, because we have another one with the same sensor issue, if it's gonna be worth it to fix it or to get a new one, because they are an older model. The only other thing on equipment is, the new computer program. You guys asked me to do a little bit more research on that. New Bedford, is currently using it. I haven't talked to them yet on it because they just started getting implemented into it. Watertown, Mass uses it. I spoke to a lieutenant and a captain over there. Both of them are very happy with the company. They said the transition was good. Additionally, reached out to a couple of departments. District 1's looking at it, Walpole's looking at it, Rainham's looking at it, and Brookline's also looking at it. The ones that I spoke to, they probably are leaning towards it because of the quality of the system. So in your packets that I gave you has the quote from First Due. I spoke with the representative from First Due. Explained to her how our fiscal year runs. They're willing to start us with it, getting it built, getting it implemented for us, and have it ready for us for our new fiscal year. The only thing with that is they need the $800 implementation fee. So I'd like to go forth, do that, so we can get the system started and be ready for it with the new fiscal year.
Now, you mentioned New Bedford is using the system?
Yep, they just signed on to it.
I was on their website, it's a pretty interactive website, studying the software.
There might be, oh yeah, you went to First Due's website? Yeah. Yep.
You brought it up at one of the meetings and I researched it. And it does seem to be a good program, and reading the reviews and.
Yep. Like I said, there's a lot of towns in Massachusetts that have it and are looking into it, so.
How long's New Bedford been on it, did they say?
No, they just signed it.
Oh, they just.
Yeah.
Like.
Just signed it
this year-
like
This year?
last month.
Oh, okay, so they're implementing.
Beginning of this month, yeah, they're starting their implementation.
That's a large department.
What's District 3 and 1?
District 1 is looking to get out of their system, and they're actually looking at First Due also. 3, I'm not sure what they use.
Now, it's subscription, this is a year, per year?
The
66.
66, yeah, that would be the yearly. Which is a little bit higher than what we have now, but much more capabilities, much more better system from what we had. We actually just had a issue with getting our reports to the state, and that seemed to be an issue coming out of the program that we currently have.
Getting your program, getting the,
The reports that we have to do for the state for our calls,
yeah,
they have to be sent over to the state. This system that we're currently on has to be exported out to a file, and then that file has to be sent to the state. Somewhere along the exportation of it, there was an issue with the file, so it had to be redone. The new system, you don't have to export it out. When it's ready to be sent to the state, the system already automatically sends it out to the state.
So the other system is running as what, about 400 a month?
So it's like, if I added in some stuff for us to be able to use, it comes up to like 4,000, I think, roughly.
So 3 something and change a month, yeah. And this one here is, I'm asking you, I mean, I did read about it. I mean, I didn't work it, but on the website, but this would make you more productive?
Yes, it would give us much better fire prevention stuff for pre-planning, for calls, safety aspect for the men and women. It would give us a better tracking for permits, inspections, training, equipment. It's all going to be able to get in there. And better for us to track it and to analyze stuff for the future. To be able to do better analyzation for equipment and stuff like that.
And the only other accessory cost to this would be some, either iPads or Android
Correct. Correct.
pads, you know.
Which I've actually put in for a grant for those already anyway.
Okay. Mr. Edgecombe, have you had any familiarity with the software, or, no, you're not familiar?
So what are we paying now? You saying half of it?
We're paying about $380 a month.
Roughly, it's, because we would have to add a couple more things than what we currently have now to efficiently use it, so.
What are they using Bourne? Are you familiar?
It's called Image Trend.
It's called what?
Image Trend?
Image Trend? Does pretty much like this, same idea, or?
It's more, we do 5,000 medical calls a year in Bourne, so it's a lot more medical based, but all the fire stuff goes through it also.
And they use
It's
iPad?
More geared toward medical, I think.
Medical. And it has the iPads to use to punch in and all that and call up and in real time, and so it's same idea, maybe more sophisticated on medical.
Yeah, I think so.
So how would you like us to proceed with this? You want to,
I make a motion, we provide the $800 down to start the process, and then.
Yeah, I've just wanted approval from you guys to go forward with this, so.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Appreciate that, guys, thank you. That's everything on the equipment side. Building maintenance. There's a quote in there for you guys to look at from All Seasons Floor Pros. This is to get the floors and the carpets cleaned in the station. They haven't been done in quite a while, where we've got a new station. I think this is a good idea to keep it up, so, being on the building side, this is up to you guys if you wanna do this or not.
So we haven't done anything? Nobody,
Doesn't, from what I've seen, on records and stuff, and from what the guys, feel, it hasn't been done in a few, 2 years?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, they did it,
2 years ago, Cyclone Cleaners did it.
different company though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyclone Cleaners, we tried to get a hold of them, they didn't call
He
return
came
our
in,
calls.
gave us an estimate, and then never ever called us or emailed us, and we've sent them a couple of messages. We
They,
found this company and asked them to come back.
they gave an estimate on this job, like now, this is for this.
Cyclone came in to look at it
Yeah,
again,
and he never got back to
said he
them.
would do it,
Yeah.
and then he never got back to us.
With a
Never
bid.
showed up to do the
Okay.
job.
So you
and
never
we
got a
called
quote?
him and-
No.
Okay, okay. And you said rug, downstairs,
Radio room.
Radio
the
room,
chief's
downstairs,
office,
my
and then
office.
Downstairs,
Downstairs.
training area.
yes, okay.
So there's one quote there. The first quote, is for the floors. And then the second quote is the carpet part.
make a motion that we contract with them, this all-season floor pros. Where are they based?
Fall
Oh,
River.
Fall River, okay. We have them do the job.
Make a second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
So that's it on the building maintenance?
Yep. Everything else is good in the building.
Oh, yeah?
We're gonna
Like
look
the-
into the,
The lights in the showers?
We're gonna look into the Eversource bill for you.
How can we fix the lights in the showers?
Gotta figure out who can,
Do we have an
somebody knows
electric?
how to get in there and adjust the timer. I know there's different ways to adjust that.
Is who
Take
put
the
them
face
in?
cloths, take the face cover off. I'll come by and do it. I'll look at it.
I haven't touched that stuff.
Who put them in?
Electric, we had, the contractor was,
Souza, Branco,
They-
Branco and Souza?
yeah, they put the lights up and all that.
Isn't there an override button?
I don't know.
They might be total
There should be an
automatic.
override button too, that you
Yeah,
can
some
keep it
have
on,
it,
yeah.
some have,
I'll take a look at that.
yeah.
Should be.
Some are just,
We
Some
gotta-
are just,
yeah,
yeah,
unless they sense
timers.
motion. Well, what's it stay on now? What's the time? Anybody
I
know?
think it's about 2 minutes.
2 minutes without movement?
Yep. So like I said, once they're in the shower, they close the door and that's it. That's all.
It's our way of saving water.
Can't see, you gotta get out.
Yeah,
Tied to the water heater too,
Yeah.
so.
yeah, it's our way. It's our way of cutting back.
So that's it on building maintenance? You think everything else is going good?
That's it.
So, building maintenance, the equipment maintenance, and the vehicle use. And the vote to accept all those.
A motion to accept all of those?
We'll roll them into.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fire chief's goals and objectives. That's
Pretty much the same as they were last year. Well, I'm working on the, training, evaluating that, evaluating recruiting. We did bring on another member on the call side, brought him on because he does have daytime availability.
That's good.
He is actually also fire academy trained already. So we're not gonna have to worry about sending him to the academy, so.
Who is this person?
He's actually one of the guys that helps us out on, the weekends when we,
At a detail, you mean?
yeah,
From District
correct.
2?
What?
Oh, 1. So he wants to come over to our call center.
Yeah, he's gonna run, he'll run both. He's still gonna be on District 1. I had a conversation with, Chief Andrade, told him about our situation, asked him if he had a problem if he joined with us too, and he says he has no problem with him joining, having be in our both departments, so.
But he's called over there. Does he do details over there as well?
He does.
He does.
Yep, the only agreement we have with, District 1 on that is, he needs to cover their details before he does any details.
Primary is would 1. Gotcha.
Yep. But it'll be a good asset because of the daytime availability.
Especially on weekend details and things, and also daytime.
Yep, no, especially,
That's good. You got,
especially the
you got,
daytime.
you got some support there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good to know.
So we'll keep evaluating that. On the recruiting side, I also have spoken with the guidance counselor at the high school. Let them know that when they have any job fairs, to let us know. We'll join in with their job fairs to try to get some more recruits in.
Do you ever have any speaking, like, outside community comes in and maybe could speak to the kids in when they do a study period or what, open period, whatever they have, and you can mention about the fire service in the district.
Okay. We can
Yeah,
talk
see
to
if
them
there's
about
an
doing that.
opportunity exists, I don't know,
I can talk to the vice principal over there.
yeah. It'd be good, maybe we can get some young people to step up, and
Absolutely.
those who are so motivated.
Pretty much that on the, goals and objectives.
Well, I did talk to Anthony about the fire inspector and inspection duties, and he said as long as we put it under the fire chief goals and objectives, that they are your responsibility.
What are you talking about? I am doing the inspections.
And you saying you're not supposed to do the inspector duties, you came up with a whole job description.
No, I did say that because there's other stuff in there that's not part of the inspections.
Well, if we place it under your purview, then it's part of your goals and objectives to do it,
In all
just so there's
fairness,
clarification on it.
yeah, but he has,
You have to get some clarification on that because, I mean, that's my goals and objectives. I mean, we can,
And if you don't agree to it, then we have the final say. That is in the contract.
but in all fairness, Billy, he's the executive officer, he can delegate. He runs the firehouse. We oversee the finances, no arguments there, but he's got the prerogative of delegating, you know, who does what essentially in a department. And he can still keep to the word of his contract.
Not if we have to pay another $12,000 out.
That's another discussion.
That's this discussion.
Yeah, right now, but as far as his ability to delegate,
Well, I'm not saying he can't delegate it out, he just can't
Yeah.
delegate it out and spend $12,000 doing it.
I think the person, Mr. Gidley, who does it, is, he's trained in it, he's doing a good job for what he's doing. And with this new software, it'll even be better with the ability to log in real time and do those right, you know, in real time and have them, you'd see it immediately.
Because it's coming up in our budget discussions. That's why he's moved it up there, because that's what Anthony said to me as well. It's under, that's gonna be put under the chief's goals and objectives, because that was in the contract, and we're just trying
in the
to,
contract for inspections, correct?
and everything that goes along with the inspections. I know you broke it down, and I've got it here somewhere, but he said that's gonna be part of the, otherwise it's a violation of the contract. So,
Well, if that's how you wanna put it, that's fine, but, I mean, as Ralph said in the contract, I do have the ability to delegate it out, so I mean, I will do it, that's fine, not a problem. But if I'm in the middle of my official duties, then I may have to delegate that out.
well, it's fine.
As
You can,
appropriate to my
that's right, you
contract.
can do that, but what's coming up next in the $1,000 a month, that isn't gonna be there, so.
But
They don't wanna fund the position.
We'll
Let's
hold
stay-
that, we'll hold that for the budget discussion.
Well,
Yep.
that's coming up next, so. That's why he brought it up under the goals and objectives. So. So we'll move into the discussion of the budget, to review and approve the annual warrant, because we have to keep moving on that. And you've rewritten a draft. So we'll move right down the different, the articles. Article 1 was not a problem. Article 2,
Do you guys,
what's that?
do you need to make a official approval to it, or? I'm just asking, because
What, each of them? I see probably we vote on each article.
I believe that's what it was, so. I mean,
Okay. So Article 1, to elect the moderator to preside over the district meetings for the ensuing year. Make a motion that we accept that article.
So moved, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Article 2, to see if the district will vote to raise the appropriate sum of money to fund in the compensation of the following positions or take other actions there relative thereto. Prudential Committee, 3 at 1,800, for a total of 54. The town assessors, 3 at $200 each, or $600. And the moderator, $200, and it's $100 per meeting.
Motion to accept?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So Article 2. Article 3. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the compensation of the following positions or take other actions relative thereto. Fire chief was 93.5. And we gotta discuss the district clerk's compensation and the district treasurer. What it was $2,100 the past year for her clerk's position, and the treasurer was $13,000. Oh no, it was $11,500.
The treasurer.
Huh?
Treasurer was
Yeah,
11,000
district treasurer was 11,500.
currently.
Yes, currently.
Mhm.
So,
The clerk,
and the clerk was 2,100. And as I understand it, she's looking for more money after, well, we haven't quite come up on a year, but I guess it's more work than she thought it was going to be. Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of work,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I enjoy doing it. I have a lot of experience on the treasurer side, and I feel that 15,500 is a fair amount.
you and I had a discussion. We ended up
did.
on that. And it was that, we had ended up, because I had analyzed the hours you told me you put
Yeah,
in.
it came up to the 15,500 and the 3,000 for the clerk.
$15,500. Yeah, $15,500, yeah. And explain to these gentlemen the time you put in on the weekends, trying to get everything caught up and the hours you put in.
It really never stops. On the treasurer side, of course, you know, I do the vendor and the payroll every month. So every other week, every 2 weeks, I'm either doing a vendor or a payroll. I work with Harper's Payroll on a monthly basis. Any problems that arise, I take care of them. Same thing with vendor. I also work with QuickBooks. QuickBooks is a very powerful document that you can get out of it. When I trained with John, he said just, do these 3 reports and that's it. I'd like to bring it further. I'd be able to print off reports that you need, you can look at, just give me a call, and that's what I've been working towards. I've designed a lot of, for instance, the staff fund balance. I have a statement of activity by month for, we've never really talked about revenue that we get, other than, from the taxes and permits and fees and what we're earning in interest. There's a lot of things that we can do.
That you can get into and set up the fields for
Right.
and print,
It was a big learning curve, and thanks to Greg, because when I did start April 1st, John did help me for a little bit.
Mhm.
I did have some family issues going on at the same time, so it was pretty difficult. But I got through it with the help of everybody.
so John, the past treasurer, that's what he was getting paid,
Okay?
and you took it on.
Yeah.
But
with QuickBooks, I've been doing a lot more than he did. I mean, I put in the invoice numbers, I document what the things are that we're purchasing, or what the whatever's going on with it. So I can run a report, and it'll show you, he didn't do any of that, which it is a lot of work, so. It's just what you wanna see.
I think John was doing District 1 too, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
And he's also treasurer for the town of Wareham.
Correct.
So he's got it down to, cruise control, so to
Right.
speak, yeah.
So what are you saying?
Well,
Because he,
I mean, she's going deeper with more reports.
Yeah.
John did a good job for what he did over the years we worked with him. Bernie, I'm sure, would agree with that, and I don't know if he was with, no, okay, he wasn't with you, okay. Wasn't sure.
why isn't he here?
He- Yeah, he left, family issue.
care of his father.
Yeah, his father's been quite ill. So we were kind of in a lurch, and Cheryl stepped up, and, the first year was tough, she had to,
Well, I have to learn everything too.
right, it's the first time doing a fire department, yeah.
I still get help on some of the things that are purchased. The chief puts the codes in for me to make sure that they're being charged to the right account. Wayne helps me with he gives me the payroll, and we go back and forth if it doesn't match, so. It's usually my fault. But yeah, so that's where we're at.
So we were in the same boat with the learning curve coming in here.
Well, yeah, but, yeah, we were, I guess.
Except she's working harder, to be fair.
I've met a lot of nice people along the way, yeah. And I'm lucky I have a wonderful husband. I put it up with me.
I don't think you have too much free time on the weekends if you're gonna keep
I
this
don't,
up.
yeah.
If I may, for what it's worth, I broke down the hourly stuff when I was in the position. She's a little under $24 an hour.
Exactly what
You
I
flip
can,
burgers at McDonald's for $22 an hour. The District 1, point of reference, clerk is at a $6,000 salary, and the treasurer is at a $22,000 salary. So she's grossly underpaid compared to other districts, and
yeah,
she
no,
deserves it.
and also District 1 treasurer clerk is over 50,000.
Oh, yeah, it's 6,000 and 22,000 right there. District 3 is over 50.
Excuse me,
Correct.
District 3. District 3 is over 50,000. So I analyzed it too, and I came up with the exact same, I mentioned at the last meeting, I think she's coming out less than $25 an hour. You and I analyzed that, we sat down. So at first I thought the increase was steep until you and I spoke, and we went over some hours and talks. Greg, you came up with the same,
Yeah.
okay, it's the first time I've heard that you did that. And I have no issue with that. I think it's fair, more than fair. Especially where you're coming into your own now, you're getting stride and you're starting to,
Without a competent person in that seat, everything comes to a grinding halt. So you gotta pay people for what they're worth.
yeah. Well, like, I came up with the same analysis, under $25 an hour, between 22 and 25, when I did it with you, and after I saw that, I changed my mind, because at first I was resistant to what you asked for, until I did some analysis on it, and I said, I can't argue with this. So it was with diligence. Now, as a compromise, you could make a proposal that we pay her the 15.5, and maybe on the clerk, go to 2,500. A $400 bump, which I think was originally proposed or something, I think, I don't know if by the chief or by me, I can't recall. And that makes it maybe $500 lighter, but overall, you're getting to the goalpost, If you're, I think that's a fair, more than a fair compromise, if you gentlemen agree with that.
Bill,
What do you want to do?
I think it's more than I'm gonna be up to pay. It was, you said 3,000 was for the district clerk's job.
No,
From
no.
21, I don't know what that
No,
percentage increase is.
11.5 to 15.5 would be 3,000 on the treasurer's job. The clerk's job would be a $400 bump to 25.
Yeah, no, I've got that. It's originally it was 21, it's a $900 bump to 3,000. Oh, you said 25, okay. I see the 25 and then it's, what was 11.5, so 15.5 was, yeah.
Yeah, 3,000 on 11.5.
No, 4,000.
Well, 4 under 15.5.
Yeah,
Mhm.
15.5 is 4,000 increase. Yeah, that's more than I want to be.
13,
That's what I wrote down, 13. Clerk, 2,500, district, the treasurer, 13,000.
Well, you were at 20, at 30, you were at 13.5 just a couple days ago.
Yeah. And now I'm at 13.
We should come back tomorrow.
Huh?
We should come back tomorrow.
Might be
That's
12.
true. Yeah, right. Could go the other way.
So your proposal, Bob, is 13K,
Yeah.
a $1,500 bump, and 400 on the clerk.
for 2,500. All right, I make a motion to pay the district treasurer 13,000 and the clerk 2,500.
All in favor?
Second,
I'll second.
here a second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Not me.
Not you?
Nope. Not compared to what the other districts are paying. And that's making considerations for the size of the district.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, you said it was 2,500 and 13?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
13, where you getting 13?
That's what you just said, right?
A $1,500 bump is what they voted on.
Yeah, to go up
To
to
tw-
13,000 total.
Yeah, so it'd be-
Yeah, oh, 13 even,
Is what he
oh,
wants.
yeah, okay.
I'll just take a note.
Okay. Article 4, to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the following general expense accounts. Building account, 35,000. General insurance, 55,000. General fund, 85,000. Health insurance, 24,000. And county retirement, 55,555. So, make a motion
Second.
to fund that Article 4. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Article 5. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the compensation of the following positions or take any actions relative thereto. Deputy chief stipend, full-time, that's blank right now. Full-time firefighters, 118,328. Fire inspector stipend, full-time position overtime, $10,000. Full-time firefighters uniform allowance, $2,000. Full-time personal EMT stipends, $400. So we'll go back up to the deputy chief stipend, which is currently at $3,000 a month, or $36,000 a year. And My position was, I couldn't see the 90,000 for the deputy chief and $93,000 for the chief. I mean, that's where I stood, the stipend. I think he deserves more money, being the deputy chief, but I had that paper with the deputy chief's duties on it, and I think a lot of those things can be done by the chief and not the deputy chief. So anyway, I'm not in favor of the $3,000 a month. I just want to see where we can fall in between that. I think it was, I don't know if Bill brought up a $7,000 a month.
75 a
75.
year. 7,500 a year.
$7,500 a year.
The deputy chief is different from a full-time firefighter position we have right now, and you're trying to combine them both. That's my problem, that's separate. There's two,
That's why we put it back, the full-time firefighters as the two positions, and the deputy is a stipend.
all right, well, I'm at 7,500 for a stipend for the deputy chief.
For the year?
For the year, yes.
And you expect him to be on call for 24/7 for $600 a month?
75. And right now it's
He
30.
doesn't have to go out all the time, he does have a chief here. You only have to fill in when the chief's not available. Yeah, if he doesn't want to be deputy chief, that can go to somebody else.
Wayne,
Just give your figure, because we're never gonna come to an agreement, so just tell me what you guys wanna put on the paper.
okay, because you say you should make almost what the chief's making.
Listen, you keep going back to $90,000.
Okay, that's all
Deputy
right.
chief's position is $36,000. It's been that way. I know you're combining them together because I'm still working at the station. If I was working at Toyota, I don't think there'd be an issue with $36,000 because it'd be separated. All you'd be seeing is $36,000 for what the deputy's duties are. Again, I'm there 40 hours a week. I'm doing that duty for those 40 hours. Then I'm doing that duty for the after hours. I'm going there Saturday to make sure the guys are set. I'm going there Sunday. So you're getting 40 hours more out of me than you would out of anybody else that was getting that position, because that is my full-time job, to be at the station. Anybody else that was collecting the $36,000 wouldn't have to worry about the fire station from 7 to 3 or 8 to 4, whatever their regular day was. I have to worry about that. I'm there Monday through Friday. That's my full-time job.
Yeah, for
So I know the
54.
stipend's different, I get that. But it's still, you're getting 40 hours worth plus. So, again, that's where I stand with that. You can let us know, let him know what you wanna do, and we'll put that on the warrant for you.
My recommendation as the chief, just so that it's on record, is that it stays the same. So you guys will have to decide where you guys want it to land.
Ralph,
Well, I favor that he continues as it is. I think he's earning it. He's on call 24/7. Both these gentlemen are. In the past, that hadn't been used by the Chief Andre. We put that money in there because he was saying he was having, he was just burning out to be on call 24/7. He never took advantage of the funds. He originally wanted a full-time chief. We told him we're not gonna underwrite another deputy chief for roughly 90 grand, like it happens to be now. And we would give you the stipend. Bernie, you remember those conversations? And he never put it to work. To Greg's credit, when he was acting chief, he did bring him in and put it to work. And we're no worse for it as far as expense goes, because we've always expensed that item out for the last 4 years, maybe. I'm trying to go back time, but, so, it's a net benefit to the people in the district as far as having, two people ready 24/7. I mean, it's, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's no more expensive to the district. Now, you can cut monies, and there's an expensive district to be, like he says, the extra services he's doing, you're not gonna get. So, these have to be taken into consideration. I've gone by there and talked to him and observed what he's doing. He's always busy doing something, you know? And he does support the chief with a lot of things that deputies do. So everybody has their job, and it's like, this kind of business is like the military. You're not always fighting, but they're, 99% of the time, they're training and waiting. The other 1%, they're in the battle. Same goes for fire departments. 98% of the time, they're doing maintenance, cleaning, records, training. But that 2% or 3% when they get called out, well, now this, that's when they're doing their jobs and doing public safety. You just don't know. It always looks easy on paper. So I favor it. I have no issues with it at all.
So the stipend,
No.
36.
Correct. Correct.
Mr. Chairman, when I was the deputy chief in 2012 in the fire department, my stipend was $7,500 a year. At that point, with the hours that the chief had me putting in, broke down to under $3 an hour. It was $7,500 when you were still in the department and Deputy Butler was the deputy. That is an outrageously little figure. $36,000 is a drop in the bucket with what you get out of the way District 2 is running. He's there 40 hours a week. He's doing double duty. He's going way above and beyond being a firefighter and absolutely being the right-hand man to the chief. He was instrumental with me when I was in the position, and I know he's instrumental with the current chief in the position. It's a value, and until you are doing it and understand all the intricacies of the position in the department, you can't appreciate that. The chief recommends it, I fully support that, and I think it shouldn't go any less than that.
Um,
Mr. Boulay, I have one comment based on my past experience with him. May I make it?
Sure.
I just have to tell you that if you ever watch this man training people, you'd be very proud of him because he really knows what he's doing. He's a credit to the department, and he's worth every penny that you pay him. That's all I have to say.
75, 36.
Well, I say 75, but he gets his hourly rate after, if he's gonna respond to a fire after hours.
Overtime?
Yeah, because he's a full-time employee. He's not a on-call.
But with the stipend at 36, that's
He doesn't get
He doesn't get
not getting
overtime.
overtime.
Yeah. So
He'll
that's,
get overtime this way.
What, if he gets,
he'd be entitled to it, absolutely.
And in the long run, you might end up spending more than 36, because he'll get overtime rate for all the drills.
Well, he should be getting it for on-call duty.
He will get it for on-call duty, but he'll also get it for when he comes in for his drills, which he does weekly. If you're gonna do it an hourly on top of the stipend, then you have to cover for the Saturdays he stops in. to
Well,
check
some of
on
that is
guys.
yours. Some of this responsibility is yours, you just can't pass it off on him all the time either. And then say, well, he's gonna get overtime. It is your responsibility.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be there Wednesdays for the training, so that doesn't.
Right, but not every day on the weekend, not every weekend day. That is your responsibility if it needs to be done.
I'm not sure where that falls into my duty, just asking because my contract doesn't have for me to be stopping in there on Saturdays.
Well, neither does his.
No, but
It's, you're responsible for all the duties of the fire department.
so on the days he does it, he would still get the overtime, that's the point.
Right, but not all of it. I mean, he doesn't need to be there all the time. That is your responsibility.
You still may end up getting more than 36 at that point with the overtime.
Well, it's mostly gonna be on call situations, because the rest of it is your
Yes,
responsibility.
and there's this, he makes practically every single call.
But as you said, most of the calls are during the day anyway.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, no.
So, I mean, there's a percentage of them that those calls will be paid at an overtime rate.
Probably a third of your calls are off-hour calls, when they say in the analysis.
64%.
How much?
64%.
64%.
That high, or outside of 8 to 4?
Correct.
64%, okay, I didn't think it was that high, but okay, so there you go. Not that there's a tremendous amount of calls, but they have been increasing. Like I said, I have no issues. I think you're earning your money. And you're supporting the chief, you're supporting the district. The money's been there. You're putting it to use, good use.
All right, I'm going to, the stipend for the deputy chief, Ralph is, I'll go 14,000. 14,000, and there's no overtime in that. So, and again, it's going to before the voters will decide what they want to do.
Yes, they will.
So, we're just making recommendations here, so. So, okay, so the deputy chief stipend at 14, I don't know what the,
Can you say he can't have overtime, because he's a full-time employee?
Not at the 14, he said.
not if he has a stipend and takes it. I don't even know if the 7,000 or 7,500, if you had a stipend, that would require you to do, I don't know.
The District 1 deputy gets a $25,000 stipend plus makes an hourly rate for every call he goes on,
Starting this year,
starting last year.
but he did it for years without even the hourly rate.
Okay, but starting this year, he's getting $25,000 stipend.
Well, they got a
plus
bigger budget than we do.
$38 an hour.
They have a much bigger budget than we do.
You gotta pay your people, they're worth something, they're valuable. Without them, you have nothing.
Okay, Bob, so you're at 14. What else in this article that is not addressed?
What's that?
You're okay with overtime provision of 10,000 in the
Yep,
budget?
for-
Uniform allowance?
Yep, no,
2,000,
we got all, those are all set. The other thing is the fire, the
Oh,
inspector.
the
for
inspector,
stipend.
we have the inspector, we haven't discussed the inspector.
That's the only,
Okay, that inspector was a stipend of 12,000?
I say to
no,
eliminate
it's
that.
1,000.
Well, it's 12,000 for the year.
12,000 for the year, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's falling on the chief now, and so that will disappear.
If I may say, we did discuss that, there will be times that I need to delegate this out to somebody else. There is knowledge base that this person has. There's update classes this person needs to have. Just for the sheer knowledge, I think we should credit that with some kind of stipend. Not eliminate the whole thing completely.
Yeah.
Even if it's a minimum amount. I mean, let's compensate this guy at least something. Let's compensate him like, say, $1,000 or 1,200. This way we said 12,000. Let's go 1,200.
That's a radical cutback.
It's a radical cutback, but that's what you guys want. I'd rather at least see somebody get something than to get straight nothing for everything that he knows and the times that he will have to be delegated it.
Well, he represents the fire department for a lot of new people moving in the district. When houses sell, he meets the new people. So he's the face of the fire department to these new members of our community. So he plays a vital role.
And he's a point of knowledge to the other firefighters on the department also.
But that's now your job and in your contract.
That's fine.
He has the ability.
I have the ability to delegate it out. So somebody still has to be trained and take the updates to be able to do that under my direction if I can't do it.
Well, it's only roughly 6 inspections a
It's
month.
more than 6 inspections a month. I don't know why you keep saying that.
Because you gave us the list and it was
And it's
roughly
more than
6.
6. That list has more than 6.
Even
I
if
can
it
tell
was
you right now.
10, it's still nothing.
But still, you're compensating somebody for the knowledge base they have. You gotta at least recognize that and at least give some kind of credit to that. You're asking for nothing. I'm asking for 1,200.
I think you're low. I think the man's entitled to at least 5.
I mean, give the guy something, guys. We're supposed to work together.
Well, you were hired to do that job.
Why are we going back to that? Yes, I agree with that. Yes, I have the ability to delegate it if I need to. Let's compensate somebody who still has to have some training and knowledge.
Billy,
Whether I do it, somebody still has to be a backup from when I'm on, even if I'm on vacation or something. So there's still a knowledge base this person has to have. Somebody has to have the knowledge base to cover it when I'm on vacation, out sick, or if I'm in the middle of my other duties. All I'm asking is some compensation for this person to have all this knowledge.
the way I look at it,
He's been doing it since 2014.
he's been trained up and he had to go to all
No
the classes.
compensation until last year.
Right.
You have nothing. until
And
last
now you want to
fought
pull
like
it
hell to get
completely.
it.
year. And everyone proved it very
Right,
well.
we fought like hell. And I know. I was kind of the rock in the stream at the time. As far as you, chief, doing all the inspections, I don't think that's necessarily in the public's interest. Our interest is the district. You have other interests and important things to do. I mean, the company I run, I'm a technician by trade. I run the company. I can do oil changes. Do I do oil changes? No, my time is too valuable to doing that. I have people I delegate that to. If I had to do it, I could do it. And on occasions, I have done it. But that's not my primary objective. I have other serious issues to deal with. Same as how I look at you. You have other serious issues to deal with. That's how I look at it. Can you do it? Absolutely. Should you do it? On occasion, yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
absolutely.
opportunities that'll happen. Kenny's out sick, vacation, who knows? I can
I
understand.
did an inspection last week. I did an inspection today. I have another inspection Wednesday. I'm doing my part of it,
Your thoughts?
but I think we should at least give something.
I recommend you get 5,000. Make a
That ain't
motion,
happening.
okay? And come up with something.
Is $1,200 is $100 a month.
Yeah. You guys want to cut nothing. I mean, I want to at least compensate the guy something. I mean, if you feel more, then I'll go more, but
Well, Bob, what do you want to do? Billy?
I'd give him $100 a month versus 1,000.
So 1,200 bucks. Well, that's what was suggested before, 1,200.
That's
think-
what I
think-
suggested,
Oh,
correct.
yeah, okay.
That's what he said. All right. And Billy, all right, Article 5.
You want to vote
Oh,
on it?
whoa, there.
I
that's
still
the
gotta
one,
decide the
Billy, that's
deputy
right.
stipend.
Wait a minute, I
14,000.
just got one.
When you've taken your vote on those two things, you need to change the total of that article down at the bottom.
Yeah, it's not too, well, at the very bottom.
Yeah,
Well, at the,
On the article itself, I don't think it's totaled yet.
It's
Yeah.
not total,
on
it's not
Article
total.
5, it says 170.
You might have an old copy.
That's an old
You'll
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
working
change
off of this,
It's blank right now.
Okay,
so I'll, yeah.
okay,
You're paying attention though, that's good.
I'm trying.
You're paying attention, that's good.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah. Okay.
Article 5.
You gonna vote on 5?
What did we say for the deputy stipend?
14,000.
14,000?
Yeah.
Motion to accept Article 5 with fire inspector at 1,200 stipend and deputy chief at 14,000 for the year.
all in favor?
Second.
I'll second.
I'm against it.
Are you against it?
Yes.
So,
2 to 1.
2 to 1. So the Article 5 we'll read to see if the district will vote and raise an appropriate sum of money to fund the compensation of the following positions and take any other action relative thereof. Deputy Chief, 14, and the fire inspectors, 1,200. The rest stands the same. And we got 2 to 1. All right. Article 6. To see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the following operational expense accounts, or take any action relative thereof. Chief's account, 55,500. Fire alarm communication, 10,000. Fire equipment new, 20,000. Fire equipment repairs and maintenance, 12,000. Fire gear and uniform, 20,000. Fire prevention and public education, 5,000. In physical and recruitment, 6,000. Vehicle repairs and maintenance, 20,000. In fuel at 10,000. So I make a motion that we accept this article as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Article 7. To see if the district will vote and raise the appropriate sum of money to fund the compensation of the following positions, or take other actions there relative thereto. The call firefighters, $40,000. Firefighter details and station coverage drills and EMT stipend, $70,000. Such that no non-full-time member shall work more than 100 hours in a 1-month period. And that's highlighted, what do we do there? Article 7.
Is that low enough to not trigger benefits?
Correct. Benefits kick in at 120, so we dropped it down 20 less than that, so we make sure we don't have any fluctuation. 130, sorry, not 120, 130.
130?
130 is the kick point.
Oh, so you're more than safe.
Mm-hmm.
Way more than safe. Make a motion to approve Article 7.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So. Article 8. To see if the district will vote, raise, and appropriate a sum of $40,000 for the reserve fund. This fund is accessible by the Prudential Committee for any unforeseen expenditures that may arise. The remaining balance will close out at the end of the year and convert to free cash.
Motion to accept as written?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Okay, Article 9. To see if the district will vote to allocate from the certified free cash reserve the following amounts. Physical fitness and gym maintenance, $2,000. And reappointment dinner. Reappointment dinner, $5,000. So that was changed, appreciation?
It's just the wording that was changed to it.
Yeah. And what is versus appreciation and reappointment?
It's legal wording for being placed in the warrant. It's just a legal thing. If you put appreciation dinner, there's a legal issue with paying it out that way.
I see.
Make a motion that we approve Article 8, no, Article
9.
9.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
He said it.
Okay, no, it's okay. All right, 3-0.
Article 9 pass?
Yep.
We're at 891,000 will be adjusted down slightly for the differences in,
The only other issue that I see, that I'm thinking about right now, we still have that repeater.
yes,
Coming
I
in.
thought about it. We have to have a special meeting before the annual meeting to deal with that.
You need $16,000 to be able to pay for that,
Uh,
and then we get that money back. We get 15,500 back for that too.
Oh, wait a minute, you, say that again, the
The
beginning?
repeater.
You're
which
talking
was
just the
from
repeater.
last- There was a grant last year for the repeater.
Mm-hmm,
Repeater's still not in yet.
yeah.
It's not looking, it's gonna be here till the end of May.
Well, we can make provisions, I guess we could make provisions on Article 9 or create a new article to address that.
Maybe make a new article.
You make a suggestion?
Yeah,
I mean, you've already approved Article 9, if you want to accept an amendment to Article 9,
yeah.
maybe add, call it repeater grant reimbursement for 16,000, so it's all in a free cash, knowing that it's, once it's paid, it's reimbursed. It's just like the wildfire gig you just had,
Mhm.
you pay it, and you get reimbursed.
This isn't as much as the wildfire. This is 16,000, we're getting back 15,500, so it's gonna basically cost us $500.
What's ETA on that now? I know it gets keep
End
kicking.
of May, they're saying no.
Okay.
It keeps getting pushed back every 6 months.
Hmm.
And this has nothing to do with the Motorola,
No.
$21,000.
No,
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 that's something totally
this is some, completely separate from that.
But does that have to be on the special meeting, because that would be paid this year? Whereas the annual meeting stuff doesn't, the payment doesn't even, you can't spend any of it until July 1st, isn't that correct?
Right, can't spend it till July.
It has to be paid.
It'd have to be a special meeting, I think, for the, to pay that.
Very good point. It has to be paid before that.
It has to be paid before that, so it's gonna be in this year's budget.
Yep. So we'll
So
have to
you
have a
can-
special meeting on
So
it.
it should come on the special meeting and take it out of the free cash that we have available to us at this point. Then it'll get reimbursed back into the
Yep.
program.
You need a special meeting for that free
Well,
cash.
you're gonna have a special meeting anyway, because for the.
Well, yeah, but at the beginning of the meeting, correct. Well, that's gonna be in May.
That's
Yeah.
incorrect.
The expected delivery's April?
No,
Oh.
end of May.
Oh, end of, okay,
At
all
least we
right.
get the cash available.
Yep, yep,
because
all right,
It has to be
it's a
paid
done.
before July.
Yep. Okay, so that can be handled, the repeater as well as the deficit unpaid on the Motorola gear.
Right, you're just appropriating from free
Right.
cash, which you've already got
Right.
available to you, and you need. a
Prior to
special-
the beginning of the annual meeting.
Right,
Got it.
or in the middle of the annual meeting, however it's set up.
Okay. So that's something we can address at that point. We just have to make,
Mhm.
have all ready.
Yeah, put a separate article for the special.
Bring it up at that,
Separate warrants
right.
for the special.
But it would be brought up at that time, probably have it all structured and,
No,
No, you have to do it now.
it's gotta be a warrant like this for the special.
so it'd have to be Article 10.
No.
No,
Special.
Special warrant,
You're
okay,
gonna
yeah.
have to
Special
adjourn,
and then-
you're gonna have.
Right, adjourn the meeting, well,
Mr. Chairman, you're gonna have to adjourn the annual meeting,
right,
because you're gonna set your warrant up for opening at 7 o'clock at that, get the meeting started, and then say and the moderator, you'll choose the moderator will open the meeting, and then he'll adjourn the meeting to open the special meeting, and you'll have to call the warrant, and you'll have to probably, even elect the moderator again for the special meeting, and then take it on from there. And then you adjourn that, you'll make your appropriations for the old bill, and then you make your appropriation for this bill that we're talking about now, then you adjourn the meeting, and then you reopen the annual meeting and continue with your business. Should take 5 minutes.
So just to bring to the board, it was brought to my attention that in prior years, there was a stabilization fund put into the warrant. I'll leave that up to you guys if you wanna go back to doing that or not.
May I talk on this issue? for a
Sure,
second?
John?
The stabilization fund is used for equipment that we need to buy. When we're needing something big like a new truck or something to that effect, it's our savings account, so that when we have gone out and bought trucks in the past, we've either paid 40% of it out of the stabilization fund, or in this, I understand in the last truck, it was 100% out of it, came out of the stabilization fund. The bylaws of the Commonwealth allow a municipality to appropriate 10% of the appropriation on the tax that you've got. So if you're doing $800,000 of expenses this year, you are legally accountable, you're allowed to appropriate $80,000 to go into the stabilization fund. That's a big ask for a district like this. But we have very carefully over the years put in a small amount every year, 20,000, 25,000, something like that, to get that kitty built up so that when a truck comes around, we really do have the ability to pay for a lot of it without it affecting the tax rate as we go down the line. We couldn't do it with the building. The building was, you weren't allowed to do it with the building. We had to go out and take a mortgage on it. But it's a really good savings idea, and it's your decision as to what kind of a decision you want to put into. That should be an article in the annual meeting, and you can put in whatever you want on that if you're going to decide to do something like that.
Where do we stand with the stabilization fund today?
I
Is
think
it-
Cheryl probably has,
One second,
About 500, almost 600,000.
now. As of, let's see, February, 189,382.77,
That's in what,
February of '23.
that's in the stab fund?
Yep.
And the other funds is free cash?
Free cash.
Free cash is like six-
556,078
That's what I'm thinking of.
minus what you appropriated for the town, for the meeting, which was what, 2,000? 7,000.
What's the stabilization fund again? 150, 189?
No stabilization.
189? Oh, yeah.
189,382.77.
you could check with the other fire districts as to what they put into their stab funds and that, but it's really, it's one of the most prudent things that we ever did on the Prudential Committee, was having that stab fund and using it and being in those days, as aggressive as we were allowed to get away with, because our budgets were substantially lower than what they are these days. But I could certainly see $25,000 going into that easily.
And that would become, we'd have to have a separate article?
That would be a separate article on your warrant for an appropriation for the stabilization fund. And that does have to come out of the tax levy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be Article 10.
Okay.
Well, I guess we have to make a decision on that.
Yeah, if you, let me see something, if you look at the math here.
What do you think, Bill?
$25,000 is no big deal.
Well, that's the minimum amount.
You could put in 84, you know.
84,000?
Sure, you got 10% of what you're appropriating.
Budget.
Huh?
Just for a point of reference, fire trucks went up 23% this year with the cost of inflation. Not saying that we're buying a fire truck anytime really soon, but they went up a lot this last year, and they're just gonna keep going up, so at some point, we're gonna need it.
I think if we put in 40,000, that's just under 5%, and it's a start. We ran that up, I forget when we dropped the stab fund. I think your truck came out of funding out of that? I
Yeah,
think your truck,
Engine 6 was paid for with cash, same with all the Scott packs.
yeah, we paid for all the cash,
Paid cash
because
for
we had the
everything.
money.
We spent $1 million that year,
Yeah.
all out of the stab.
All money we had salted away, yeah?
But that was, 15 years worth of careful planning, like Mr.
Yeah,
Garfield said.
yeah.
That's long-term building.
Yeah.
But it was able to not hit the tax base at that rate, so it's good.
So Article 10 will be the stab fund. To fund
To see.
out of the tax levy. What do you want to put in?
Mr. Chairman.
Two.
No pun intended, but I think before you take a stab at this, you might want to look at the history, what has been put in the last 5 years. That's certainly a question I would ask at the annual meeting. Whatever you come up with, what have we put in the past? Is it less, is it more?
More, a little more.
Do we have more, but I agree with the comments that the more the better, but I'd also like to know what the history has been on funding that stabilization fund every year.
The last I recall was 50,000. That's what we put. I think one year we bumped to 75 or 80. Right, Greg?
Between 50 and 60 was
Yeah.
our typical.
Yeah. 50, yeah, we've been
I think
solid
1 or 2
50.
was around there.
We were close to the
Right,
10%,
Yeah.
because we were under $400,000 for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last time at June 8th, 2020 was 50,000.
50,000, yeah.
When is it?
At
20.
the June 8th meeting, 2020, it was 50,000,
What was the total budget then?
and then 21.
600 something, I think.
I don't remember why, but Chief Andre recommended not funding it 1 year for some reason. I don't remember his reason why. And then it just hasn't been funded since then.
Right.
Okay,
And we
because I'm looking back at the 3 last warrants and we didn't do anything.
Correct, yeah, the last one was
2020.
2020.
like I said, I don't recall the reason why, but he elected not to fund it, and I don't remember.
I think one year we bumped up for 70 or something. We were prepping up for something. We increased it and we compromised and it was, I think you originally proposed 100. And I think it was beat back to 75 or 70 at the time, in 1 year. And then it traditionally has been about 50K. John, I think even when you were on board.
We were starting to get close to it.
Yeah.
It wasn't 10 years ago.
So it sounds like we probably should hold and take a look at this before we put it on the.
Well, I think it just, you heard from these gentlemen, the past history, I think 40K is not out of order considering the size of our budget, and that our expenses overall have gone down fairly substantially because we paid the mortgage off. So it's not gonna really affect the levy at the end of the day, or the year. We should still come out in pretty good shape as far as the levy to the taxpayer. So we're still being prudent here. Trying to maintain a balance between, not overburdening people any more than you have to, but yet keeping the department strong, prepared for the future. So it's your call, if you want to do the 40K.
No, I'd like to look at this and.
Well, you don't have much time to look, so you have to
Yeah,
come up with a decision.
We kind of need to get this budget straightened out, as we're already into March, so.
Yeah,
Can I make a suggestion that you
Make-
put a standby number, put in a number that you both, or all three can agree on to now, and if in your research you find it, you can amend it at the annual meeting?
Placeholder.
And,
So that it's on the warrant, because if it's not on
Put
the
it on the
warrant,
warrant,
it
then you
doesn't
can adjust it from there.
yeah. That sounds like the smart way to do it. so we can approve the budget, so we might as, well, we can increase it, we can't bring it back down, right?
No, you can go any way you want.
All right. So what, $25,000?
We can do the 25 and can raise it if we need it.
All right.
All right, so you're making a proposal to Article 10, to create Article 10, to fund the stab fund for the next,
Exactly as a reserve fund, except just.
Copy Article 8,
Yeah.
just change the wording.
Yeah.
okay,
Reserve fund, stabilization fund.
okay, so just change the word there.
Copy Article 8.
All right, there you go.
25,000.
So you're gonna put 25K, that's the proposal?
Yeah.
Yes.
That can always be modified at the annual meeting. 25K, so be it.
Is that a 3-0 vote, or?
I'll go along with it, because it can always be changed.
Motion to make it 25,000 for the stabilization fund.
All in favor?
Second.
Favor?
Yeah, went 3 to
Okay,
0.
thank you.
It was 50,000 for a good number of years. We bumped it one year, I think, to 75. Originally it had been recommended 100. Everybody argued over it, and we brought it down to 75.
You couldn't do it to 100, you didn't have a budget.
Right.
Well,
Oh,
Greg-
maybe with the.
well, one time, Greg, you made a proposal, I think it was close to 100.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
Yeah. And then we kind of hammered out and went to 75. I forget what we were funding though. Okay, so I guess we're done with the articles?
So, we can vote on this warrant?
No, we did all that already as we went along.
Huh?
We did all that as we went along,
Yep.
so that should be all set.
So we did them each line by
Yeah.
line, that's right.
We're good on
Okay,
the
so
art-
it's
on
all
the
set.
budget.
The articles are good in the budget.
You just have to, you know, create the verbiage for Article 10 based on Article 8. 25K going in there.
All right, so, number 9, recall petition.
We still need a special article though, right, for those two?
Um,
For the repeater and the
Oh, yeah, we need to,
$21,000?
You need to have a, you
We
need
need
to
an
start
hour.
a second warrant right
We
now.
need another warrant. Would be Article
Oh, for the
1.
special meeting, for the, at the annual meeting, but just open up with a special.
21,000 for the Motorola stuff, and then 16,000 for the repeater.
Okay, so we'll call this what, the special warrant?
And Cheryl, set the time so it's 15 minutes later than the start of the annual meeting.
You think that's enough time?
All they have to do is open the annual meeting
Okay.
and adjourn it.
Suspend
Yeah.
it.
I'll suspend it.
Suspend it. Send it, and then pick it up.
Well, the moderator will control that.
so it's,
And I don't know if you need to, you will have just appointed a moderator for the year, and you may not have to appoint a new moderator at that meeting.
Should cover it.
I think that should probably cover it. Just- You might, Cheryl, you might check with Anthony to just find out on that one.
Okay.
Go.
so it's 21,000 for,
It was 21,000 and change on those
You
radios.
guys have,
I,
yeah.
yeah,
The
I,
Motorola building.
Motorola.
yeah, I sent you copies.
Yep.
I think it was 21 change, 21,549 or something like that. 21,500. $49 and some change, I can't recall exactly.
And what's the other amount?
That was under
Repeater.
Motorola's. Or the repeater was 16, well, we gotta make 16,000, the whole bill, we gotta make provisions for.
Yes,
16,000 and change.
have to get the exact amount.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, I didn't.
We're getting back 15.5, so it's gonna cost the district $400 for that one.
So we're gonna call Article 1 on the Motorola radios, we're gonna put that unpaid Motorola bill found by the chief.
I'm getting $20,960.77 for that one.
20,960?
$960.77.
60, 77, 20,000, 977, Article 1.
I believe because it's from a previous year's budget, you have to list it as pay the bill from the previous year's budget. It's gotta be listed that way, because it's already a closed out budget.
But that would be, it won't be this current fiscal, it'd be
It would be
before.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was from
Won't be,
2020.
It was,
Fiscal 22.
Yes,
October and September and October of 2021,
right.
So fiscal 22.
so fiscal 22.
23.
And it has to be two separate articles.
well, yeah, one for the
Yeah,
radios,
one's
one
for the
for
Motorola bill, the other one will
Yeah,
be
you
for the
couldn't because it's good.
repeater.
repeater.
Now, that was fiscal year,
Repeater's fiscal
22.
2022.
Correct.
no,
The repeat is
The
22.
repeater's 22.
that would be, no, wait a minute, let's,
Motorola,
Motorola's gonna be 21.
2021, Greg,
December 20, was right after 10, when did we, 21?
2021, no?
So it's fiscal 22.
Yeah,
Right.
for the repeater.
So the repeater was fiscal 22.
Right.
But the
The radio
Motorola one,
was fiscal 21.
right, it was the year before that, right.
So it'll be
So
2020,
the Motorola bill that we have is fiscal 21. The repeater will be fiscal 22.
so it's really 2021, if you look at it that way, right, the fiscal year, right?
Yep.
Wayne, it was ordered for fiscal 22, but it hasn't gotten to us yet, so it's gonna be paid in this fiscal year, which is fiscal 23.
Yes.
We got extensions from Department of Fire Services, but they won't give us any more extensions past June 30th of this year.
It has to be,
So it has to be in the
But
23,
it's gonna be in May, so once it comes in, we can pay the bill.
right, but that has to be appropriated from this fiscal year that we're in right now,
yes.
from the
From free cash.
certified free cash,
From
that's
free
correct, yeah. Sorry, guys.
All right, so we got Article 1 down.
They won't be billed until 23, so you don't have to list that. I don't bill now. You don't bill for it.
So, special warrant, Article 1, unpaid bill for the Motorola radios for the fiscal year 2021. Unpaid, which was found by the chief, because he got into the previous chief before you.
Did you say, I think it's fiscal 22.
Well, I thought it was 2021 fiscal year.
Bill was from,
The bill was from
Oh, the radios-
September and October of 2021.
Oh,
so that's
So they're-
fiscal
they're both
22.
22.
That is fiscal 22.
So I just wanna make sure you hear the word.
okay, so fiscal
That's
22.
In the same time we ordered the repeater. So they're both from fiscal 22.
Okay.
So that's fiscal 22. The bill was dated what?
October 21, September, October 21. So it's
September of
fiscal-
October 21 and October of 2021.
So they're both gonna be fiscal 22.
Well, okay, the 21-22 fiscal year, because it's still in, gotcha.
Yeah,
Right.
still after July of
Fiscal
21.
22 started July 1st of 21.
Yeah, so it's after July of 21.
It's both in the same fiscal year.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's a,
Do I remember correctly that you sold that, overall equipment, about $8,500 or something for it? So that,
There were Kenwood portables that we couldn't use.
so that, wouldn't that be carried as a credit? Because your net is gonna be, whatever this 20,000, whatever it is, less the, whatever.
8,500.
Well, technically, yes. But the radios we sold go into free cash, right?
Which is what this is gonna come out of anyway, so.
Yeah, it's gonna come out of the other side, yeah. So we're on 2021.
Two.
Even though it was in 21, but,
Finance too.
all right, so fiscal year 2022. Article 2,
No, well, should that be mentioned, that the $8,000 was, credited?
No, because
No,
the bill still has to be
It goes
paid.
into certified free
Right.
cash when it came back, and so you can't touch that unless you appropriate it from that way. So it's already built into the.
I know, but it just makes it sound like the hit was less.
Well, you can say it in discussion,
Yeah,
but that's
that's-
gonna confuse everybody at the meeting, it's as confused as we are here.
Yeah, because technically those radios did not come out of this 20,000.
Right.
That was bought off of a different bill.
All right. Keep it simple.
technically, these radios were funded for the 85 or so that we put into the truck as
From
for
engine sets.
accessories.
Correct.
But some of that money was returned to free cash.
You didn't have the bill in time.
Unbeknown to us that the bill was floating around, right.
The remainder of the
So
bill
it gets a little
was-
convoluted when you kind of look at this,
The
yeah.
whole thing's confusing.
Yeah. Okay, are we
Article
done
2.
with Article 1 here on the special warrant
Two.
for fiscal 2022?
So the repeaters,
Article 2
Is that enough?
is to fund the repeaters up front, and we're gonna have to explain, we have a grant. We have to pay the bill first, and get the money later,
Yep.
when it gets funded.
Yes.
So it does come back, all but the difference, back to the
It takes about
district.
45 days for it to get
Yeah.
refunded back.
So the net hit to the district would be less than $1,000.
16,000,
Article 2,
15.
to fund radio repeaters,
Yeah, one
Radio.
repeater.
RAD, yeah, 1.
Repeater and two portables, right? It's actually one repeater and two portables, Ralph.
Okay, radio repeater and 2 portables.
Yep, that's what's in the grant.
2 portables that just kind of like match the other.
What we have now, the
Yeah,
APX
only new
4000s.
versions.
Yep. And it's 16.1 and change, I would go with 16.2, and then a couple of dollars will go back.
So 16.2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Out of free cash. And the subsidy we're gonna get back is
15.5.
15.5. I should say the grant.
It's messy, but I got it.
So roughly about 2 months later. You said 45 days, but could be,
Yeah, it's 10 days once the check gets processed, and then it's 45 days to receive the money.
okay. Now, this is rough language, someone will have to put these articles together as far as the legalese to make it right. We're paying for it up front. We get the money in the back. goes back, the money comes back to us, so it's the net one. So, everybody clear on the second article, Bob, Billy? To fund the radio repeater, and 2 portables, 16,200 up front, out of free cash. We get paid on a grant, approximately 45, maybe possibly 2 months later, and the money would come back to the district. So the district gets pretty much all their cash back, and a small percentage. That would be Article 2. Okay.
Just need to vote on it now.
Yeah, we'll make a motion to accept the special warrant.
Second.
Article 1, for unpaid balance of motor road radios for fiscal year 2022, $20,960.77, out of free cash. All in favor?
Both of them are out of free cash.
Yeah, Article 1 to vote on 1, yea, nay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Passed. Article 2, to fund radio repeater and 2 portables that come with it, $16,200 out of free cash. The grant to be paid to us, approximately 45, possibly 2 months later. We'll receive a check for $15,500, and that'll be pretty much making us whole on that whole amount. That is Article 2. All those in favor?
Motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay. I think we've addressed, other than the structure of it, to put here and make these changes that we know about. I can sit down with you on that. So we're done with the budget, I guess, right?
All
Pretty
done with the
much.
budget.
As it stands
Just,
today.
in,
Now, the next article is what?
on the agenda, the recall petition.
Recall petition. Okay, did you hear from our new Prudential Committee attorney?
Yes, did you?
I haven't checked my emails, I've been out of commission today.
Yeah, she sent down the,
Did she send an email? I don't
she
know.
sent-
I'll check, I didn't see it.
I was just gonna read it.
I'm not supposed to be here, but
I'm
I'm
gonna read the whole thing,
That's not it there, is it?
but, no,
Last one.
it's here. So, anyway, the same as the position I had, the meeting, they did not meet the district's bylaws when it came to proper notification in the 10-day rule.
No, we didn't, because we neglected to address it in the 10-day rule.
Right.
We didn't vote on it, that's correct. I have, so what did she say verbatim? What, can you read her letter, please? Because I don't have a copy.
Okay, well, anyway,
I can read it if you want, but.
all right. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because part of it is, just goes through the, each of the Section 8 and Section 3, 8.3 and 8.1. But the bylaws make a distinction between the text of the recall affidavit and the petition. The bylaw also is clear that a petition is not an active recall petition until it has been signed by the appropriate number of voters and certified. As a result, the clerk must provide the entire document, including signatures to the Prudential Committee. In any event, it is my further opinion that the clerk failed to meet that deadline. The petition was not effectively submitted to the Prudential Committee for further action at the February 13th meeting for several reasons. First, notice of an item about the recall was not on the agenda for that meeting. No action may be taken by the Prudential Committee without the item with the action being listed on the meeting agenda. The bylaw requires, as the next step, that notice be delivered by the Prudential Committee to the officer who is the subject of the recall, within 10 days of notice being successfully provided by the clerk. The Prudential Committee could not have delivered such notice without taking action in a properly noted public meeting. Second, it is also undisputed that a copy of the petition without signatures was only submitted to Mr. Maderas, but not to any other member or members of the Prudential Committee until after the February 13th meeting. A single member of the Prudential Committee is not able to act on behalf of the entire Prudential Committee on his own initiative, nor without a majority vote of the entire Prudential Committee authorizing such action.
Excuse me, Bob, I never had a full petition with signatures.
Right. That's
No,
what-
she says I did. But
No.
you just read that, she just said that I had
Okay.
that, and I acted on my own because I had the whole petition. That's not true.
Second, it is also undisputed that a copy of a petition without signatures was only submitted to Mr. Maderas.
Wrong. I
Without
only-
signatures, a copy
Yeah, without
without
signatures.
Oh, without
signatures.
signatures,
That's what it
okay, yeah.
says.
Well, no, we both had it here. I read it out loud.
We didn't both have it, you had it.
Well, you were sitting right beside me. I read it to the public.
Well, you read it, I didn't have a copy of it.
Well, I gave mine back, the original, because she needed the original back. All right, so go on.
Okay. A single member of the Prudential Committee is not able to act on behalf of the entire Prudential Committee on his own initiative, nor without a majority vote of the entire Prudential Committee authorizing such action.
What
No,
action?
The action we were supposed to take.
Right.
Well, we're supposed to have a meeting for that, but go ahead.
Okay. No such valid vote could have been taken at the February 13, 2023 meeting because there was no properly noticed agenda item in which the Prudential Committee or Mr. Maderas, if so authorized, could take such action. Finally, it appears to be undisputed that the petition with signatures was not submitted to any member of the Prudential Committee until at least March 3rd, 2023. This is outside the 10-day deadline to deliver notice by the clerk. Because the petition was not timely submitted to the Prudential Committee at a properly noticed public meeting, and because the Prudential Committee was not able to act in a timely fashion to accept the petition and deliver the required notice to the officer who was the subject of the recall, then the time for further action on the petition, including setting a date for recall election, has passed. It is my opinion and recommendations that the Prudential Committee do not attempt to schedule a recall election on the basis of this petition. The deadline requirements set forth in bylaws have not been met. And it's signed by Karis North. So, hey.
Mr. Madero seems to be getting ready to say something, but when,
No, go ahead.
when it's my turn, I would just like to make
Sure.
a statement
No,
as to Attorney North's opinion. I actually had, as I think was brought up at the last meeting, been in contact with Attorney North. I just want to read a couple sections from the letter that I sent her. The open meeting law issue is a red herring which deflects from the actual requirements of the Dartmouth Fire District bylaws. Section 8.3 states that if the petition shall be found certified by the district clerk to be sufficient, such district clerk shall submit same with his certificate to the Prudential Committee within 10 days. There does not appear, and there is not, to be any disagreement that February 13, 2023 was within 10 business days of the date of the district clerk's certificate, February 9, 2023. The requirement is that the certificate shall be submitted to the Prudential Committee without any specification as to means and without any requirement that the submission be an agenda item. Accordingly, this requirement has been met. And let me just say this, that with regard to an issue of basically interfering or thwarting the district voters, that I understand that Mr. Medeiros had reached out after Mr. Kudo and Mr. Medeiros at a meeting had received the certificate from the district clerk to try to set such a meeting, have this on an agenda item, and met with no success or response. So it's very disingenuous to say, oh, well, you know, they had to have had a meeting, right, and bring this up to give notification to Mr. Boulay when the other two members of the committee were basically incommunicado and just, we're not gonna do anything, and then the 10 days goes by.
There was also discussion at the last meeting that we were at between district council and the Prudential Committee about whether or not the certificate was required to have copies of all the signatures. Again, the bylaws control that issue as it simply states that the petition, and there was the form of the petition, was attached to district clerk's certificate, not the signatures, must be submitted by the district clerk to the Prudential Committee, and that in fact was done. I just want to clarify one issue, because there was a little bit of confusion, I think, that might have been initiated by Attorney Savastano, but unfortunately the word draft was introduced into the mix of this discussion of signatures or no signatures. But this was incorrect. The copy of the petition that was attached to the district clerk's certificate was not a draft. It was not something that, you know, later on got amended or edited or changed. It was exactly word for word the petition that was signed by the voters. And I'm just asking that you recognize, right? Recognize the will of the district voters that have signed this petition. Thank you.
I had read the original, which was presented to me by the treasurer clerk, and I had to give it back because that was the original. So I need that original, which I gave back to you that night on the 13th that I read the original
No,
petition.
you kept the original.
No,
I don't have the original.
I don't have it. I went back to,
I know I don't have it.
Bernie asked me for it, and I told you I went back to Cheryl. Cheryl, I think you had the original. I don't have my records. I'll double check, but I think you said you needed it back that night. I took a picture of it and I sent it to Bob.
No, because I didn't, after that, I didn't need it. I had a copy at, home in the,
I thought you said you needed the original. No? Well, what did I read? I read, well, I didn't have a copy.
You had the original.
I had the original. Well, I'll check
Yeah.
my records, but I thought I gave
Yeah,
it back to you.
check your paperwork at home.
But it was alluded to, wasn't the right document, that Anthony was saying that, and that's not true. And I made a yeoman's effort to reach out to you gentlemen on more than one occasion to set up a meeting, and I was totally ignored. So it's extremely disingenuous to say, well, 10 days have passed, we didn't act on it properly. And from my understanding, that didn't have to be listed on the agenda. It was just read out to say we got notified of this, and we had to act on it. Billy and I didn't act on it that night, but I did say we have to have a meeting to vote on this, to set a date. And that's when the curtain of silence went up. I heard nothing from you, Bob, I heard nothing from Bill.
Anyway, if before the February 13th meeting, if we had gotten it, and the attorney Savastano had it, and Billy it would have been on the warrant for that meeting on the 13th, and we would have been able to discuss it. It wasn't there. I mean, we've got, Attorney Savastano agreed, but he didn't want to appear, he said he wanted to get somebody else's opinion on this, which he did, and he agreed the same thing. So there are two people who see this differently than the attorney.
See what differently precisely, though?
That the timeline wasn't met.
The timeline wasn't met because we didn't have a vote. We
Okay.
didn't have a meeting for a vote.
You
And
could
why
have-
was that?
Because we've never received a copy in time.
Never received a copy in time.
No.
You had the,
March
February
3rd,
13th, February 13th.
I was the
right?
chairman and I didn't have a copy. I was never given a copy, period.
Number one, you never said you were the chairman at the meeting, so that was never acknowledged, number one.
Well, you never
Number
said you
two,
were the chairman either. How's that?
No, we just did our job in the fact that Bob wasn't here. Not that it makes a big difference, but the fact is we'd conducted business. I read out the document to you, me, and the people that were in that room at that night.
And I questioned that night whether it was legitimate to even be discussing it because it was not on the agenda. And
But
here we have a
from my
legal
understanding,
opinion.
It didn't have to be on the agenda.
Well,
It was
that's
just
your
a notice
opinion.
to the board.
We've just got another legal opinion we paid for that said it had to be on the agenda.
Well, no, she makes question that we didn't act in 10 days, if I read the letter. Did I get a copy of that email to me?
You
Yes.
did,
Okay, it went to my right email address?
I know, but everything doesn't seem to come through, I don't know. You
Well,
have
no, I have an
problems
email
with it.
address if you
Just
put it
like
in
with
there.
you, Bob.
Just like with me?
My email
It
address
didn't
is,
come through to me. I got
Lots
it.
of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Have you ever sent me something that I didn't get? Oh, yeah?
There's two different issues here, actually. So there's the issue of the notice to the Prudential Committee. There isn't any specification as to how that happens. You don't have really a standing office as maybe some of the boards here have in the town hall.
Well, there's also notice to the public. That's what the agenda notice is for. The
No, no,
public
no.
wasn't properly notified either.
No, there's two different issues here. So, you have the February 13th meeting, right? You could have been notified, except I think then you would be going through the same exercise, well, you never got it, all right? The notification was at the February 13th meeting. You probably could not have acted on it, I would tend to agree, other than to read and say we have it at that meeting unless it's an agenda item. However, the requirement in the bylaws is that the Prudential Committee, right, has to act within 10 business days of the date of the district clerk's certificate, which was February 9th. So the reason that 10 business days passes by is because now having the petition, you decide not to have a meeting. You go.
If I'm gonna act on it, shouldn't I have a copy of it?
You can always add,
Anthony was asking for copies of it and he couldn't get it.
but Cheryl, you sent copies out.
I did.
Just like the one you got and didn't get.
I got a copy through Anthony.
Okay.
It didn't go out till way past a month after, almost.
No.
If it was at the 9th, it would have been on the February 13th meeting. And they
Well, if
would have
we
been able to act on it
If we
then.
had set up for a meeting, if we had made arrangements for a meeting, everyone would have had the full documents there, because you're not gonna act on something you don't have the documents on. So it's a
Exactly.
red herring to say that, well, we didn't have documents. You can have a set up, structure a meeting, and then discuss the recall.
I
which
got
was
the
never done.
documents in March.
Which was never done. Maybe you got it in March, but I'm just saying, we had 10 days, we could have had a meeting to discuss it. We couldn't put it together.
I'm gonna
Couldn't get you-
discuss it. I wanna see the document I'm discussing.
Did you ever call Cheryl and ask for it?
Anthony's been trying to get it.
Well, you're a board member, you could have called her.
Well, we've
I
got a
mean,
lawyer.
I'm trying to
Well,
deny
too, a
reality.
couple of times. And I've got it on my email too. And I know when I asked her about it, she said that she never got the notice.
Cheryl never got what notice?
When I asked her for it twice, but I do have it on my emails and I can show you that. Because you responded to the first one after we met about helping me set up the agenda for the 13th meeting when I wasn't gonna be here.
As far as I know, Cheryl, you were supposed to email him a copy of those documents.
I did.
I texted him the
I
copy
did.
of the documents.
So what happened was, let me see if I can get the dates. On February 9th, I received the certified signatures. It was 256 submitted for certification, 232 were confirmed from the Dartmouth Town Clerk. She certified them, and the Dartmouth Registrar of Voters were the ones that certified them with her. So then she gave them to me, and I had them from, was that Thursday or Friday? The 9th was Thursday, so I brought them home and I looked at them over the weekend. We had a meeting on the 13th. All I had to do was give it to one of the Prudential Committee members. Ralph came earlier than you, and so I gave it to Ralph, and that's where,
So the board was notified,
the board was notified.
formally notified.
And then he read it, it didn't have to go on the agenda according to what I read, but,
I
then he
notified.
read it at that meeting. and
If it's,
you
if
actually
it's
said you didn't
discussed,
want anything to do
it
with
has to be on the
Not the way it was
agenda
going, no.
discussed.
No, we didn't discuss it, we
Well,
read it. That's all we did, is read it, acknowledge receiving it, I read it.
It wasn't on the agenda, and we have a
I
legal
don't-
opinion
It didn't make a
here
difference.
No,
that says we take no action on it.
so I don't know.
So I
And
make a motion,
Anthony-
we take no action on it, according to the legal opinion that we just paid for.
Okay,
I don't know.
Second.
That legal opinion says that the 10-day rule wasn't met.
She said, take no action on it.
so we have a
So
motion
they're
on
trying to null and void 200-plus signatures of the public because Bob and you didn't want to have a meeting. You ignored my attempts to arrange a meeting.
No.
You did.
No.
Don't say you didn't. Oh, you didn't. Okay, you didn't. After numerous phone calls and
Second my
texts.
motion?
It was the same as, you didn't get the petition today. And this came through today to you.
No,
Or yesterday.
Bob, I was in surgery today. I just, they woke me up at 4 o'clock. I made an effort to be here.
Oh.
So I'm here. I didn't have time, I didn't go to work. I didn't
I
open
didn't
any of my emails. So I asked you for whether I got the right, if it was sent to me properly, because evidently you had a difficult time getting my email right. Well,
I
a year
happened to
later.
be out, on a boat offshore, and I wasn't really checking.
Well, Bob, I've been in foreign countries.
Yeah,
and I've gotten
okay.
emails and texts around the world, so,
Well,
okay. Yes, John?
Mr. Chairman,
yes. Yeah,
another subject if I may.
well, we're discussing this one here.
Oh, are you finished, before you adjourn?
Okay, before we adjourn, I'll let you do
I
that.
get my motion, you second it?
Motion, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Of what?
Aye.
Adjourning?
No,
No.
take no action.
So take no action. So you're gonna reject the efforts of the public on this recall and totally disregard it.
It's not rejecting, it's, just wasn't done
There's
according
rules
to
and
the
procedures
bylaws.
that you have to follow.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna lecture me on that.
Right, and I mean, yeah, I know. So, okay,
So what was your final decision on that? Could you read that again, please? What the Attorney North has said?
what's that, me?
What's your final opinion
What's
on
the
it?
final, what did you
On
put
Attorney
down?
North's?
Attorney North said not to take any action. He
Action in regards to how?
Because the time has passed.
It is my opinion and recommendation that the Prudential Committee do not attempt to schedule a recall election on the basis of this petition. The deadline requirements set forth by the bylaws have not been met.
On the timeline for the bylaws, the 10 days.
Yeah,
Well, you gentlemen are the reason for that. Okay,
okay.
so you would not,
So you're claiming you never got an email about this whole thing, ever?
No, an email about it? Yes, I did. I got from Cheryl.
So you were notified?
No, I was not assigned. She gave me the original certificate with the people calling for the,
No, I gave you what I gave Ralph on the 13th. I gave you the
Which you-
the certification.
but it didn't have all the list of people. It had the petitioners, there were 13 names with the certificate.
and the approval by the
Right.
clerk.
As far as I know, that's all I had to do.
No, I thought we were supposed to get the whole petition. There's another. They've read, like I said, both Anthony had two different opinions.
Our lawyer is aware that you did receive an email, though. She's giving you an opinion based on the fact that there is a digital record, that you did receive an email close to
He
the
wasn't here to
February
vote on it
13th
anyway.
meeting. I'm just asking
But he
if,
received it.
if the lawyer
I
is
don't know.
aware of an
He
opinion.
just said he did.
I
So the
said
answer is
that.
yes, he did. Don't say you don't know, he just said yes.
I said I received a copy of, it wasn't the total
Of the
petition
recall
that was
petition.
supposed to.
And the
No, it
petition is
wasn't the recall
certified once the
petition.
votes are certified.
So Bob, you're trying to hide behind the fact that you didn't get everybody's signature on it.
No,
That's what you're saying. You didn't see the
No,
whole
it wasn't.
petition signed by the individuals who went out and got signatures on their petitions. And
that's not.
because you didn't see who the names
You
were.
can keep talking and talking about, it, but that isn't what happened.
It's
You're allowed to
irrelevant.
take action.
He was 1,500 miles away anyway.
Doesn't
He wasn't
matter,
here
you
at
got
the
it by
meeting.
email, and that's acceptable through state law.
Yeah, you got it by email.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see,
Well,
let's see what.
Everybody's a lawyer in
Yeah,
here
right.
when there's no lawyer. That's all I can say.
See you
We go
later.
through this
See
every
you later.
time.
John,
You're a lawyer, but
She's a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when Anthony's not around, they all have an opinion, and that's how they got themselves into
So
this.
do you.
And what's your opinion on this, attorney?
My
She
opinion
said
is the recall election should be set, I guess I did not, I thought I made that
Yeah.
Well,
no, you did.
You're getting paid to say that, and we just paid a lawyer to,
say
and she
that,
said no.
clear. I say no.
Well,
And then we
then we
voted.
have, and we voted, it's done.
John,
Another issue, if I may. One of the things that you guys have asked, or had suggested, that, or not suggested, but asked be done, has not been done, and that is that no minutes for this Prudential Committee have been posted anywhere since July of 2000, this year, last year, 22. Where are they and why aren't they done? You had 10
They're actually done. Ralph, you have a whole bunch of copies. Why didn't you ask Ralph? He
No, I'm
hasn't.
asking the board chair,
Right.
And the
not
clerk.
you.
They're sitting on my computer right now,
Well, then why aren't they out?
because I haven't had the time to take care of that.
Baloney.
Sorry. Such is life.
When are you gonna have the time to do that?
The reason
That's all behind us, Fred.
It's not behind us, Bill.
Bill,
You
you're
have a
required,
responsibility.
within 10 days, they're supposed to be made public, by according to the open meeting law.
Well, put in a request and I'll get them done. How's that?
We have.
I-
submitted a letter, it was
I read her
at your
letter.
meeting.
I read,
I requested them.
Yes, you never got it.
You have 30 days to respond.
Motion to
I have
adjourn.
another thing. It goes back to July.
It's important now that they be posted. It was never posted in the
It's
past.
always important.
But it was never posted before.
Why aren't you complaining about the last 6 years?
Yeah.
What?
Why aren't you complaining about the last 6 years?
We never had a website before.
We've had
No, the
The
town
town
hall
does.
did.
Town does.
We need to go.
we never posted to the town.
Okay, make a motion to
Oh, who is?
adjourn the meeting.
Who is?
There's a digital record.
Another one mouthing off.
I make a
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye, aye, aye.